that it has become a great curse. In fact, religion, Islam is being distorted in the name of these damduruds. I can quote one example, an interesting but very tragic example at the same time. Once my late uncle Hazrat Mirza Bashir Ahmad Sahib was walking home from Anarkali, where he had gone for some shopping. And at that time, immediately after the partition, we lived in a nearby building called Ratan Bagh. So it was a few minutes walk from Anarkali. So he met an old man with a long white beard who asked him for a rupee or so, because he said he was hungry and he required that much money. So apparently he was a respectable person. Bashir Ahmad Sahib immediately gave him 1 rupee, although during that time a rupee was quite some money. Later on it became just nothing. But I'm talking of the early days after the partition. Anyway, this gentleman who had begged him for money, he became very pleased. And he said, look here, gentlemen, you stand here, you have done me a good favor, so in turn I'll do you a good favor. So Hazrat Bashir Ahmad, out of curiosity, stood there and said, what is it you can do for me? He said, I will tell you a dam, a trick by reciting certain verses, whereby from now on you can travel without ticket to anything, any place, all your life, and nobody will ever catch you. So he had a good laugh. And he was also shocked. He said, Bade Miyan, what are you saying? He said, yes, I know. I traveled from Karachi to here and nobody caught me. So this is what they have done to these originally holy traditions, very pious traditions. They have been distorted and turned it into the very opposite of what they stood for. Any other question, please? Yes. Asha sir, are you going to monopolize today?
That's also regarding to this question, I want to ask about that taweez.
Yes.
I think the discussion was
the same thing.
Same thing.
Yes.
So is it allowed in Islam, except
amulets
other than them?
But that's the same thing. Same principle is involved.
Because nowadays I have seen before accepting earlier, the peas of today, they have printed matter in their files.
And telling you is all hocus pocus now.
And
originally, there might have been some benefit which you could draw from it. For instance, if you write a verse of the Holy Quran and those people who did not know Holy Quran, they were ignorant people and they were emotionally attached to the Holy Quran, so that would add something to their attitude. If somebody is conscious now that a verse of the Holy Quran is hanging from my neck, he would be more cautious in avoiding evil. He would have special respect towards that amulet, and as a result of that, he would reform his conduct himself. So originally all these things were started by saintly people to draw such benefits. Many people accepted Islam in large numbers, in India for instance, in many places, who had absolutely no knowledge of how to read the Arabic, and the Holy Quran at that time was not translated at all. So how could they have some attachment to the Holy Quran? These were the measures adopted by some great saints. So originally they were all right, but later on these things were distorted, misused, used in fact for exactly the opposite purpose. So now they stand condemned as such. But still, in principle, you can't condemn it entirely right from the start, because originally you might find some really pious people involved with good intentions.
So the other question is about that Qawwali, the music, that they say, is...
This is a different question, please sit down.
Yeah, it's different.
You asked permission for one question, I'll give chance to others because we have little time left, right? You see, this is why I was doing it. He was being very restive looking at you. Come on. But yes, this is why. Particularly when Rashid Sahib has taken his share for questions, so poor Bashir Sahib shouldn't be deprived.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, please.
Would Hazur kindly explain to us the origin of 12 tribes of Israel? What caused them to leave Palestine? And also kindly advise us of the approximate period when they left Palestine for other parts of the world.
Instead of relating the whole history, I'll only attend to the essentials of this question. First of all, let me make it clear that the term Israelites has a very special, limited meaning. It is generally confused with all the tribes of Israel. It is wrong. The fact is that first of all, let me go further back. The term Israel is derived from a name given to Hazrat Yaqub, Jacob, by Allah. An incident is related in Bible which apparently is so absurd, but as we understand Bible, we consider it to be a very significant vision of Hazrat Jacob, not that it physically took place. It might have been a vision of Hazrat Yaqub, whereby Allah was teaching him to wrestle for his cause against the enemies. But the Christians and Jews generally don't interpret it in this sensible manner. Many among them really believe that one night, for the whole night, God personified himself and came to wrestle with Jacob, his prophet, peace be upon him. And the whole night, neither God could defeat him nor he could defeat Jacob. So then, in praise of his prowess and great adventure, he was entitled Israel. So the sons of Jacob, from then on, are supposed to be Israelites. But Israelites, as I will explain further, ultimately are known to be certain people among the Jews and some others, although they were also the sons of Jacob, were not called Israelites. But of that later. Now I refer to your question, the tribes and when they were expelled from Palestine. In fact, this is a distorted concept of history, that every tribe of Israel was in Palestine. This is wrong. They occupied a much larger area. Out of the 12 tribes, the Jewish kingdom was divided into two parts: the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. The northern kingdom comprised 10 tribes. The lost sheep of Israel, the 10 tribes, they in fact never occupied Palestine. This Palestine belonged to the region which is called Judea. And in Judea, only 2 tribes were had settled, and they were the rulers of that region. So while Judea remained intact, Assyrians attacked the northern kingdom of Jews, and those 10 tribes were defeated totally and dispersed. And that happened about 721 years before Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. So that is the main scattering of the Jewish tribes to which we refer generally.